Hello, my friends. Operator Starsky here. It's very nice to see you. It's 1 a.m. in Ukraine, in Kiev city, Kiev Oblast. So, as I can see, again, I hope that you can hear me well. As far as I can see, we have quite a few people here in the chat. So, good evening, dobry wieczór, buonasera, guten Abend, and konnichiwa to you all guys. Today we will talk about one of the most interesting topics, I would say, most interesting, most shameful for me as a Ukrainian and for the rest of my people. But I would say there is no country without corruption. Okay, I see that sound is great. There's no country without corruption, and of course, does corruption exist? Yes, it does. Should it exist? No, it shouldn't. And we will discuss this topic because currently there is a bunch of talks in the European Union and official talks as well regarding the seeing Ukraine as a member of the European Union. We all are looking forward to Buenos Nachos. We're all looking forward to see Ukraine as a member of the European Union. And of course, because it's a very important topic for all Ukrainians, not only in terms of our economy, not only in terms of our security, but also in terms of security of the whole civilized world. Because it's so important, of course, Russians exploit this topic very much. And in the beginning, I would like to again say thanks to Tune Ottesen for this beautiful snail. I will keep it here on my desk. And of course, I would like to start with this question, like, how did Ukraine become a corrupted country? Of course, it acquired its independence after the collapse of the Soviet Union, and of course all the countries, all the former members, Michael, we will talk about this, all the former members of the Soviet Union, all those former countries of the Soviet Union, of course they were very much corrupted. One of the reasons is because people in the Soviet Union were storing their deposits, their money, in the Sberbank of the Soviet Union, that after the collapse of the Soviet Union literally grabbed all the money and transferred them to Moscow. This is like a known fact, but this is, guys, you all should know. Moscow basically robbed all the Soviet countries, and it has stolen, it snatched all the money that were stored in the Sberbank, because offices of Sberbank were there in every single country of the Soviet Union. So that's what happened, and this is the historical fact. They literally snatched all the money from all other countries. But what's the origin of corruption in Ukraine? Long story short, is because Ukraine was ruled by decades, for decades, by pro-Russian governments, by people who supported Russia and considered Russia their role model, their example. This is the main reason for this. Of course, we had some very tough time in the 90s. Of course, there are a lot of problems. Of course, it's a cultural thing as well. But on the first place, Ukraine was ruled for decades by pro-Russian governments. That's all. Pro-Russian governments who had like very tight connections with Russian mafia / Russian regime, and Putin, also known as Huilo, as well. This is one of the main reasons, and of course eventually this shit becomes like part of culture in any country, and of course later it takes time to erase, to remove it from any given culture. And this process of removing the corruption from Ukraine started in 2013/2014 with the Revolution of Dignity. When people were so fed up with corruption, so fed up with Russian influence, when people grew up enough to realize that they don't want to remain in this Russian sphere of influence, or whatever it was called by Russian chauvinists, people realized that they want changes. And they brought changes. And here you can see this massive number of people. It's only on Maidan Square, the Square of Independence, in Kiev downtown. Guys, there's millions of people. Here you can see, for example, same place during the day, all the people who went out on the streets protesting against corruption, against Russian influence, and all the people who decided, who literally realized their responsibility, and they decided to fight for freedom, for democracy, for becoming part of European community, for becoming part of civilized world. Still, Russians call this revolution a coup, even though Russians don't realize that coup is when there is some kind of force that takes the power, like some political parties, some militaristic parties, some religious organizations, like whatever. The result of the Revolution of Dignity in Ukraine was the democratic elections. And for the first time, those democratic elections were not falsified, they were not faked, they were not forged. And people elected their own government and their own president that they wanted to see ruling them. This was the direct result. Like, nobody was installed by evil West, nobody was like brought to... There was no abstract, I don't know, like Poroshenko or Zelensky or whatever, who was there leading people into combat and then he took the power. And no, like hundreds, if not thousands of organizations, non-government organizations and movements and political parties and simple people, they removed the motherfuckers who were ruling them, who were stealing money from those people, and they elected democratically new government and new president. No matter what the fuckers say, no matter how much the fuckers try to convince you that it was a coup, no, it was a democratic revolution that resulted in democratic election. And people were furious. People were furious because, for example, the legitimate motherfucker who was already accused of forging previous elections in 2004, this was basically his house, and I'm talking about the former Ukrainian dictator, the notorious mafioso Viktor Yanukovych from Donbass, from Yanakievo, Donbass. This was like his apartment. And guys, it wasn't only his house, okay? It wasn't only his house, because the dude literally bought himself like a mini city, okay? He had like a huge territory that only belonged to him, that was built and managed, due to our money. And he spent hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to build all that just for himself. So this place is called Mezhihiria. It's not far from Kiev, north of Kiev. And like, we turned this place into a museum of corruption. It was also used to accommodate children who children/refugees from Donbass after 2014. And because there's a lot of place, a lot of room, a lot of actually very nice, places to accommodate them. But at the same time, this area is still opened as a museum of corruption. And we bring people there to show them how our dictator lived, how he planned to rule Ukraine forever, looking at his role model, known as Huilo, right? I'm talking about, like our president said, fucking terrorist Putin, right? And there are so many things found there, guys. Like, I remember that there were like, his letters and gifts, like sent and received from like Medvedev, from Putin himself, and they played those weird and ugly role games, like, in the letter that Yanukovych would say, for example, Your Majesty Putin, your dedicated servant, nobleman Yanukovych is writing you this letter and would like to present you this fucking icon of Jesus Christ, or something like that, and he would receive the same answer. Guys, it was insane. The dude literally prepared to rule Ukraine forever. Legitimately elected motherfucker. And that's why our people were so much furious, guys. So after 2014, Ukraine implemented a lot of different reforms that included establishing new anti-corruption agencies in Ukraine. And we will talk later a bit about the results that were reached. So the anti-corruption agencies such as National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine, NABU, also the laws were passed to increase transparency in government spending and procurement. And also we implemented electronic filing systems for we have a lot of officials, we have a lot of members of parliament, oligarchs, important people, and the information about their property, their assets, became public, which was, again, very, very important, because there is this habit for different motherfuckers to like snatch a lot of money, okay, and then donate them to like their wives, fathers, kids, and they will have like all the property, or like villas, yachts and shit, but because they're nobody, basically, no one's gonna pay attention to about their property. So one of the things, and there are so many things that were improved, because, for example, bureaucracy in Ukraine was tremendous. It's still something we're fighting against. And hello, Rick the Ukrainian, hello, bro, nice to see you here. Something that we're still fighting against, but it was much decimated, I would say, because Bureaucracy, it's when you need to, for example, register somebody in your apartment, and in order to do that, you have to bring like 10,000 different documents proving that you own this apartment, and your the people living there, don't protest somebody else being registered there. And you also have to bring like your blood samples and your urine and things like that. It was crazy. And of course, it was made with only one purpose, so people would bribe them. So what we did, we have Dia. Dia is a Ukrainian app that basically you don't have to have any documents with you at all. You don't have to have like whatever, anything else. You can have like Dia, which is your whole life in your smartphone, and you can have all kinds of papers that you require. Birth certificates of your kids. You can change the place of your registration. You can register your kids anywhere. Like everything regarding like lawsuits, everything regarding your loans or your like everything, guys. All the fees for like violating traffic rules and things like that, it's all here now. So it was a tremendous step forward, and it eliminated a lot of corruption in Ukraine. So in addition to this, Security Service of Ukraine also played huge role in reducing corruption. Huge role. Security Service of Ukraine conducted numerous investigations into corruption. It has arrested a lot of goons, a lot of high-ranked politicians, officials, public people that were snatching money. And guys, I don't work for Security Service of Ukraine, okay? They're just very cool. I don't work for them. I work for CIA. Of course, I work for CIA, Mossad, and George Soros. They're so good. I'm freelancing for Yakuza because I love sushi so much. But that's not the thing. Security Service of Ukraine made a lot of very important arrests of number of facts. And for example, October 2022, Security Service of Ukraine arrested head of Ukraine's Customs Service on charges of bribe taking and illegal acquiring of assets, money. November 2022, they arrested Deputy Minister of Infrastructure for same charges. He snatched funds allocated for construction of roads. December 2022, Security Service of Ukraine arrested Member of Parliament for the same charges for bribes. Those guys are great, like they are insane. This, for example, like if you scroll their Telegram channel, for example, they post this stuff every single day. Here they arrested some representatives of the pro-Russian, like of course, pro-Russian party OPZZ, which still exists in Ukraine, by the way, and they were doing like extorting and things like that, robbing people basically. Here they arrested a local member of a local administration, local parliament, town hall. This one was arrested today. It was like a deputy chief of Department of Customs in Ukraine. He was arrested literally today because he went there to take a bribe as big as $2,000. It's so ridiculous, guys. $2,000 fucking dollars. And he's like deputy head of the department. So how does the corruption work? How does it look in Ukraine? Okay, if you want to have some like live examples. Some examples I already mentioned. It was like when there's some kind of bureaucracy involved and you just want to jump over it. Again, it's not like you can do it in every office, because, for example, in Ukraine, if you bribe a policeman, this is the reason for you to get arrested instantly. You will be arrested for bribing policemen in Ukraine. If you bribe a policeman in Russia, it will be a guarantee that you will not be arrested. This is the difference. Again, everything is very different from like town to town, city to city. There are some places hard to reach by like representatives of government and whatever. But still, in like generally, from what I can see, for example, in the past 10 years, if before 2014, people were almost like bragging, basically, like, dude, I paid this dude and now I can do something like, you know, I paid this dude and I have like an apartment, or I paid this dude and I escaped being drafted into like army, you know, escaped being conscripted. Nowadays, like, you won't hear those talks, which is awesome. And people are really, really scared to talk about that, which is awesome. And for example, because I worked in police before the reform, because before 2015, police in Ukraine was called militia, just like in Russia. Militia was like the nest of corruption in Ukraine. It was almost like, you know, this police in Georgia before the reforms. Now it's a completely different thing, but back then it was, oh my God. So now in police, of course, you will not hear anything like that. Like, people are so much scared because there's so many agencies hunting for motherfuckers. And I think it's absolutely beautiful. Again, we live in a free country with freedom of speech. I can openly talk about those things because I don't give a fuck. I'm a free man in a democratic country, right? In Russia, of course, you would not survive after talking about those things. But in 2022 alone, Security Service of Ukraine opened more than 1,000 criminal cases related to corruption, and those cases were opened against big people. What do Russians say about the corruption in Ukraine? They go like, look at the Telegram channel of Security Service of Ukraine. They post this shit about like, you know, arresting corruptionists, corrupted people like every single day. Ukraine is full of corruption. But the main indication of fighting corruption is basically being transparent and open. They don't realize that the information posted and made public about those arrests, it's an indication that the country is fighting against corruption. Again, I doubt that you will see anything like that in Russia. Like, only some rare cases related to probably some quarrels between like elites, right? Russian elites. Someone wanted like a bigger piece, that's why somebody else was set up. Nothing more. In Ukraine it's different, and I'm happy that it looks like that. And another important thing that I wanted to mention is the corruption perception index as of 2022. So you can see Ukraine over there, like in the middle, a bit to the right, not the best place, right? But first of all, consider this. Russia is almost 20 positions lower than Ukraine. Russia is the most corrupted country in Europe. And before 2014, Ukraine was almost 30 positions lower. Ukraine made incredible progress. Russians try to portray Ukraine as a defunct or dysfunctional country that became worse after the revolution of dignity and yada yada. In fact, what we see is a progress. Country is fighting corruption. It didn't fall down. It didn't go lower in this rating. It went up 30 positions, which is amazing. I believe it's amazing. So this is another good example that shows that country is developing, country becomes more transparent, and Russia is still in the ass. So there have been allegations. There have been allegations that, and again, it's related to our topic. There have been allegations that Western weapons supplied to Ukraine have been smuggled out of country and sold on the black market. And of course, it was a very cunning and perfect informational operation designed by Russians. However, numerous assessments by Ukrainian partners, Ukraine's partner countries, have found no evidence to support those allegations. Zero. The United States, the United Kingdom, all other countries that helped Ukraine, they all said that they are confident that the Ukrainian government is taking all the necessary steps to ensure that Western weapons are not falling into the wrong hands. They're falling on the heads of our enemies. Today I posted this update with the dude, with the Russian invader who came to Ukraine, and he died while taking dump on the Ukrainian soil. You don't do that, of course, without permission. So yeah, one of such weapons killed him as well, and numerous assessments found zero evidence that that those weapons were smuggled. Zero evidence. You won't find them, except for like Russian channels. The problem with Russian misinformation against Ukraine is that, and specifically about corruption in Ukraine, is that it has far-reaching consequences that extend beyond the borders of Ukraine and Russia, and we will talk about it because it's a very important topic. The fabricated narratives spread by the Russian terrorists not only pose significant threat to Ukraine, not only undermine Ukraine's effort to defend itself, they also pose huge, tremendous danger to the very foundations of democracy in the whole world. And Russian campaign of misinformation seeks to erode public trust in Ukraine's government and its institutions. By portraying Ukraine as corrupted, as dysfunctional state, of course, Russia is not only sowing discord within Ukraine, but also within Europe, within the European countries, discord between the allies of Ukraine. But not only that, actually it's much, much worse. It's undermining democratic principles. Because by doing this, Russia is contributing to increasing, this climate of cynicism, and becoming cynical is very dangerous for people. When you become cynical, when you start percepting this world and everything that happens from the standpoint of a cynical person, you're fucking dead. Nothing can change you, because you instantly start percepting things that should not be as something that, normal thing. People are being killed or raped every single day. It's a fact, yeah, but should it be like that? No. But you stop caring about it, and basically you become very, very passive about it. And you don't know, not only you don't know, but you don't want to do anything to change it. This is why it's so dangerous for you as a person, for you as a personality. This can lead to loss of faith into everything, into democratic institutions. It can decline it can lead to a decline in civic engagement and other horrible things, guys. I know that in Ukraine, for example, if you remember, one time I talked about Zrada files, and if you remember that, if you don't, basically Zrada is a phenomenon / meme in Ukraine. It's when people became so cynical that they lost faith, and the only thing that brings them joy is consuming information, like consuming black information, consuming bad information. Some corrupted politician was arrested, and you go, "I told you, you see, I told you, everybody's corrupted." Or like Ukrainian army is losing, and you go, "You see, I told you, Ukrainian army is losing because we have these and these and these problem," but nobody was listening to me, and you're proud of that. Like, you don't care that Ukrainian army is losing, like, at some position, but you're proud that you predicted this and people were not listening to you, but you're so fucking genius. It's very dangerous for you. It's rotting from within. You basically turn into a Russian. 100%. This thing makes you Russian. Because Russians don't have faith. No. Even before I became a press officer, even before I became a communicator, like a professional communicator, in the army, I had a blog, and I realized that there's only one thing that can disrupt cynicism and that can, let's say, bring people some kind of hope. It's motivating people. It's very easy to give up and just sit down and wait until you're dead. But of course, it's 100 times harder to stand up and keep fighting. And but at the same time, it can be fun. This is what I do. I enjoy what I do. So we have to, Elvira, it's Zrada. It's Zrada basically means betrayal. Betrayal everywhere. Tears from the eyes. It's a quote. That's why it's very, very important to remember, don't become cynical. Remain alive, okay? Remember that song, Staying Alive. That must be your fucking anthem. Stay alive. Otherwise, you are effed. And everything you love. And when we talk about like those Russian accusations, Russian fabricated narratives and shit like that, one thing that I find amazing and ridiculous at the same time is, when Russians are criticizing somebody, okay, Russians criticizing somebody for being corrupted. it's so stupid that it becomes genius. Or for example, when Russians criticize somebody for not being democratic enough. It's like when Russians tell you about democracy. I think it's even cooler because, like, Russians being ruled by the same freaking old fart for 20 years and criticizing like somebody for not being democratic enough, like coup in Ukraine, you know, like they don't know what democracy is. Coup in Ukraine. Oh my God. What can we do to combat Russian informational warfare and all that shit? Of course, we can expose it, but one thing you should remember, and in order to explain it, let's talk a bit about, you know, like those street guys. For example, here in Ukraine, we have like how you call them, guys that want to like sell you something very useless and they're very annoying, you know. For example, we have guys from they're Ukrainian, okay, the Ukrainian guys that belong to some kind of Hinduistic, not like church, not like sect, not like movement, something in between. And those guys are known for being like, yeah, they're very cool and funny, I admit, but at the same time, when they want to sell you some kind of garbage, they're very, very annoying. And it's like when you walk down the street and then there's this dude screaming, salesman, snake oil salesman, yeah, hustlers, scammers, yeah, something like that. And you walk down the street and this guy screams at you like, Mister, hey Mister, I have something for you. And he's running towards you with this like book that, you know, with this beautiful cover with some crazy drawings on it, like a person with like 1,000 arms and legs, and it says your path to salvation or whatever. And he's like running towards you, and what do you usually do? Because you know that he's gonna sell you freaking snake oil, usually you just ignore this person, okay, and you just keep walking, and he will just, you know, ignore you as well as a result. Or you can just you can be less decisive, right? And you go, oh, okay, I will spend some time listening to him and then I will like refuse. And he starts like telling you all kinds of bullshit, and maybe he will even convince you to buy this freaking book that you will not even read, or you will, I don't know. But the fact is, you already know that he's gonna sell you shit that you don't want. So this is a perfect example on how we should react to the Russian media, because we already know that Russia is a corrupted and terroristic place. Okay, Russia is a corrupted, ugly place, ruled by terrorist regime that has no freedom of speech, and its media are like completely following the topics provided by the regime. It won't tell you the truth. Like, it's not designed to tell you the news. It's designed to spread propaganda. So, because we already know it, then why the fuck do people still buy snake oil? I don't understand this. So this is why we should like ignore it, like completely. It's one of the things that we should do, because Yeah, eventually, because they have this rule of 10, right? They have like 10% legit information and then 90% of bullshit. Oh, Hare Krishna, guys. So you have them too, right? I thought they were. You have them too, I see. Because, yeah, we have a lot of them here. Yeah, community is absolutely cool, especially when they play those drums and sing and stuff. I literally, I was dancing together with them a lot until they wanted to sell me shit. So returning to our topic, we should just ignore that shit. It's a weapon. It's not like news. It's not content. It's a freaking weapon. You don't want that. This weapon is designed to kill you on the first place. Because democracy and free world where people can have this freedom of speech, free thinking, freedom of choice is something that Russia doesn't want, guys. No, don't be fooled. They are not your potential partners or whatever. Of course, I'm not talking about those several hundred legit Russians who are currently fighting in Ukraine against Russian invaders as Russian freedom fighters. I'm talking about general public that was raised hating you and hating your values and hating West because you live better than them, and they will never have such prosperous lives as you do. For one reason, they don't realize that they should sacrifice something to be free and to be prosperous, to be wealthy. They should sacrifice something, but they don't realize that. That's why they're sacrificing much more than they could, like their lives just coming to Ukraine and dying for nothing while taking a dump somewhere in a trench on the Ukrainian soil. Yeah, Buba, you can't argue with ignorance, so I'm not wasting my time. I agree on that. So that's the thing. You got Jehovah Witnesses won't be coming to your door again anytime soon. They're changing their messaging to doomsday. I didn't know about that. So that's basically what I can tell you about the corruption in Ukraine. Something that you should remember: Russian propaganda about corruption in Ukraine is dangerous not only for Ukraine. It's dangerous for your country as well, if you're a democratic country. It's dangerous for your world. And you know what is the worst case scenario for everybody, for me and you and our future? Do you want to hear the worst case scenario? It's when Ukraine loses the war. Okay? Ukraine loses the war. And in 20 years, after several generations they were born, they grew up and went to school without speaking even a single word of Ukrainian language, and they were raised and brainwashed and zombified by the Russian regime. So in just 20 years, your children will have to fight against our children, because our children, zombified by Russians, will have to fight you. And which is even worse, Ukrainians were always the core of the Soviet army. Ukrainians were the best. We were best. We were more professional. We were more courageous. We were always the best. That's why everybody were afraid of the Soviet army. Nowadays, this former core of the Soviet army is your best ally. Ukrainian people are your best ally forever, because of all the help that you brought to us. But in case this army fails, they will be turned by Kremlin into your worst enemies, because they will have all kinds of technologies provided by NATO. They will have all kinds of experience and training provided by NATO. And this is the worst case scenario for everybody. This is something that gives me fucking shivers. So this is why Ukraine must win for everybody. That's how serious it is, guys. Okay, I think I gotta finish my coffee, and still we have to finish on a positive note. And the positive thing about everything that we're talking about is that Ukrainians are still looking for sex tunnels, like day and night. We're trying to find, you know, the at least some of the entrances using like metal detectors, using, you know, those land radars sending like sound waves. We still haven't found any sex tunnels, but we keep searching. And I'm sure that if we find one, I will definitely make a video about it. So that's the news. And for some reason, this chat in my app is so slow. Oh, you wanna see something cool, guys? You will be impressed. Just 1 second. I need to. Oh my God, how does it work? I need to show. Like, I need to show it to you because we were talking about corruption and scamming, right? Scammers and corruption. And this is something that I wanted to show you. Okay, share whatever, share. Okay. So, guys, several days ago, and it was exactly when I met Rick the Ukrainian, your favorite YouTuber. Several days ago, I had a beautiful opportunity to talk with myself. Okay, so here we have. Why doesn't it work? Yeah. Here we have this beautiful conversation with myself. Guys, it was so cool. Like, I found myself absolutely accidentally in this app. Okay. And look at this mofo, like the operator Starsky. There's no the in operator Starsky, you stupid fuck. I accept donations, thank you. So the coolest thing is that I wrote him a message, and because I wanted to find his PayPal and then, you know, like trace this motherfucker down. And I was like, I would like to donate $3,000 to your brigade. So first thing he did, he said, I will not accept that amount from you. I can only accept $500. But then he removed this message, and because he's like, $3,000, am I stupid? And he's like, he wrote the same message, but only he said like $1,000 this time instead of $500. It was so hilarious. I wonder, like, you know, on one hand, I really want to call him right now. On the other hand, I want to trace the motherfucker. And so if you can, and if you were scammed by this again, the funniest thing was that, you know, I messaged him, and he didn't even pay attention that I have the same freaking photo, like that one, because he stole it from my profile. But like. He's so stupid. I have no idea, but I decided that I would probably trace him down. Also, I found that I literally cannot like report this profile. There's no option to report this profile, so I can only block him, but I don't want to do that. But I want to trace him down. I want to do that. But if I fail, I will call him on my, like, on some of the upcoming streams. So this is something that I wanted to share with you guys. It's so freaking cool. If I find him, like, in the real life, I will take him directly to the Tunnel of Love, and he, like, you will never see him again. All right. All right. Oh, no, not this one. This one. Okay, I think I will. I don't think it's India. It's like, it could be Russian, but his number starts with like +1. He's basically the same scammer who creates multiple accounts of my channel like every single day. And he posts the same message over and over with his phone number, with his Telegram, scamming people. And of course, because people don't pay attention that his nickname doesn't contain like this tick, this badge, they often reply, and this is how they get scammed. So that's the thing. And eventually he will get toasted. +1 USA often fake. I don't know. Oh, Jacob, does he speak Ukrainian? This is a good question, because I will ask him to call me, to like have a video chat. That would be so cool. That will be so awesome. Like, I imagine like operator Starsky from, like, I don't know, like Kenya, or damn, I wanna see that. I wanna see that. All right, or Japan. No, like Japanese people will not fall so low. Kenyans, I think, either. Maybe he's Russian, by the way. Did someone write a song called Tunnel of Love? Oh, Tunnel of Love sounds like kind of naughty. All right. Here is the proper chat. Can we call him live? Marty, I will, I swear. If I fail to find his data, I will call him live. I will try, at least. Starsky's evil twin. Well, it's a question, though. Who is more evil? If you FaceTime him, then wear the hat and the uniform on the picture. Yeah, why not? Tunnel of Love, Bruce Springsteen. Tunnel of Love. Yeah, I think I heard this song, but like Sex Tunnel is a different thing. Spell Ukrainian Palyanica. The Russians can't spell, only Ukrainians. Yeah, that's a great comment from JSM. So in the beginning of the Russian invasion, we used different words. For example, Palyanica. And funny thing, actually, I taught my Aussie brother, Aussie Viking, to spell Palyanica perfectly. It took like 3 takes, not more than that. Nearest office of Monobank, yeah, that too. But actually, Russians have a hard time trying to speak Ukrainian, even, because like we have a lot of words like white calf, Bileteля, they cannot pronounce it. The pencil, olivet, they cannot pronounce it at all. And things like that. The reason they cannot pronounce it is because they don't give a shit about other language, other cultures. What? Вы чё смеетесь? One thing about Russians, guys, in Ukraine, it's just so you could understand the whole picture. In Ukraine, we have words свідомість, which means consciousness, awareness. And we have word незалежність, which means independence. Russians in their media use those words as like curses. They are that effed up. Okay, I think there's something with my connection. Probably I'm downloading some update. Anyways, ask him to show you his Starsky tattoo. Yeah, David. There's only one man with such a tattoo. There can be only one. Okay. Yeah, and the coolest thing about the coolest update about my upcoming streams is that soon I will be able to invite guests like Rick the Ukrainian, of course, and other people. And is Starsky UA your handle in Twitter? The Bear, yes, it is. I have like only two social media, which is Starsky UA in Twitter and Starsky UA in Instagram, that I sometimes use for replying to you guys, and nothing else. Like no Starsky/UA, no Starsky.UA, nothing like that. It's Starsky UA in one word. Oh, stream is fine. Thank you very much. It's because I think that I'm lagging a bit on the screen. I heard Russia made some kind of bad deal with India. Is that true? I heard that too, because I heard that the oil they're sending to India is sold for such a low price that basically they're losing a lot. But Jake Bro, thank you so much, Super FKV. Yeah, Jake Bro could tell you more about it. There's no L in the Japanese alphabet. Yeah, by the way, I noticed. There's also no L in Polish alphabet. They have either soft L or W, but they don't have L. So Japanese and Polish have a lot in common. Just saw a video where a Ukrainian politician's daughter was driving around throwing money all over the streets. George, do you know the name of the street? I really, really want to know it. Starsky start wearing a wig and see if he starts to wear a wig. Ah, a wig. I gotta choose a wig though, because I'm not sure if I should wear like curly hair, you know, or like short hair or something like that. I gotta, maybe I should become like blonde. I gotta think about it. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can't fake real Starsky. If you can't hear him, it's not him. There was this lady from Africa who literally she copy-pasted my whole page in Instagram. And the only thing that was not legit in her Instagram was her PayPal. And she was like collecting money for like drones in Bakhmut, you know? and I contacted her from like several accounts, and also my friends tried to message her, and she even like, usually when I reply on Instagram, I send voice messages exactly for that reason. Because it's hard to, to copy that. Of course, now you can do that with like AI, but whatever. I can send you videos if my voice is copied. I don't care. But she tried to copy my voice. She would say like, hello. Oh, it was cool. It was cool. These things make me feel alive, guys. Who says that life is boring? I don't know. Trump hair. Risto, Trump hair. I gotta have Trump hair. Oh my god. Trump hair. Was that Fuj? Did you hear the Fuj? He probably had like a bad dream or something. Wilson, Starsky, my mom said that you are good looking. Thank you so much for your mom. To your mom. Thank you so much. Please, can you explain to people that Dnipro and Kherson are pronounced with silent D and K? Oh, so, Dabs, Dnipro in Ukraine is pronounced as Dnipro. D turns into like this nasal sound a bit. We don't say Dnipro, or do we? Dnipro. We do say Dnipro. But Ukrainian language is easy in this regard because there's a lot of sounds that, like, it doesn't matter how exactly you pronounce them. For example, in like Farsi, there's three letters h, three sounds h. It's h, h, and h. In Ukrainian language, they're all the same. If you say Kherson or Kherson, it will mean Kherson. Like everybody will understand you. Or like three letters as it's crazy. In Ukraine, it's like it's all the same. It doesn't matter how exactly you pronounce those sounds. Everybody will understand you anyways. At the same time, it's crazily complicated if you want to learn it. Arthur Ray made a really bad mohawk a few days ago. Yeah, that's when I'm bald. Actually, I was shaving today and I cut my skin on my head real bad. I was bleeding like a pig. Are you not afraid of AI? It is possible to copy your voice. They can copy my voice, of course, but I have other attributes. Jake's channel is actually how I came across yours. Jake is amazing. He's an amazing person. Did you contact PayPal to get those money back? They were not my money. I literally contacted PayPal and told them that he's a scammer. She was a scammer, and she stole a lot of money. I sent them a lot of screenshots for their support. Actually, she also banned me on Instagram, so I could not see her profile. So I'm not sure if she's alive or toasted. So that's something I still don't know. What does Starsky mean in English? Literally nothing. It's literally just a stupid nickname. A call sign, which became a nickname. I was learning Russian for 2 years and I switched to Ukrainian and found it easier to learn. Yeah, Jensen, it's the case. Actually, Ukrainian is much more melodic. Ukrainian language is pretty much similar to Italian, where you have, those vowels after syllables, and they just go like in turn, and it makes the language sound very much melodic, um, like in Italian language. But at the same time, like, I love challenges. For example, in Polish language, you have a lot of different sounds that are hard to pronounce. But if you learn it, you will receive several points, for your karma, because it's so cool. It's like, try to sing with so many sounds like zh, sh, ch, but they do that, and they have some kick-ass songs. This is amazing. Is pasta your favorite? I love pasta. Um, Starsky and Hutch had a movie remake in early 80s. I didn't know about it. That's what I thought, like Italian when you practice phonics in Ukrainian. Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite American military plane? Oh, my favorite American military plane? Probably like F-16. Probably like F-16, because when I was a small kid, I had this awesome simulator of F-16 called F-16. And it was really, really cool. It was about like a campaign in South and North Korea. It was awesome. And probably, yeah, probably only because I had a chance to fly it in virtual sky. But I'm not a big, like, guys, I'm a military, okay, but I'm not a big fan of military games, okay, like combat games and stuff. Not a big fan. Shooters, no thanks. I had a lot of that in my real life, like combat airplanes, no. But I decided to create my own game called World of BTR. And in some of the upcoming streams, I will tell you more about it, because it's so cool. As for the airplanes, like, guys, I love general aviation. I feel so relaxed when I'm flying something like Piper Arrow or Mole or something like that in Microsoft Flight Simulator. But I haven't been flying for quite a while already. Top Gun. Yeah, Top Gun movie made F-14 Tomcat legendary. What also made F-14 legendary is Red Storm by Tom Clancy, one of my favorite books ever. I read it 1,000 times in a row, and it's absolutely amazing. All the atrocious shit about Russians, it's completely legit in this book, trust me. I know some Polish, and there's some words that I understand. For example, work means robota for both. Is easier to learn Polish if you speak Ukrainian. I think Polish is a bit easier than Ukrainian, because Polish language has several easy rules that make understanding and speaking this language easier and more accessible. So I would say that Polish is the easiest language if you already speak Ukrainian, for example. Jags, SR-71 is the Blackbird, fastest and most agile. I think I still have some souvenirs. I had SR-71 souvenirs from Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. This is like, if you want to go and if you want to visit Washington, D.C., this is the place. Because you can visit this place with your kids and just disappear for like a whole day. I spent 2 days just hanging around there. After the war, will you come to Australia? Steve, I will definitely come to Australia because my relatives live there, my bro. So 100%, you can expect me there after the war. The world of BTR, guys, it will be an amazing game. What are popular games played on mobile or tablets on the front line? So it's PUBG, I think. It's World of Tanks. Like, World of Tanks is immortal. I remember in Svetlodarsk there was this village, and it was like really long village, like a hot dog, okay? And I was going I was returning from a briefing in the evening, and everything was dark, of course. And I was walking back to my location, and I was passing by a BTR, and it was my BTR. It was officially my BTR with my crew inside. And I saw like this blue glow coming from, from like those holes in the BTR. So like I knocked, and the guys opened the hatch, and I was like, "What are you doing there?" And they were like, "Oh, nothing. We're just playing World of Tanks." I'm like, "Dudes, do you realize that you have like the real one?" And they're like, "Yeah, but this thing is so much cooler, you know." Ah, those kids. Starsky, why couldn't you have a guest on stream who is expert in your subject? Well, it is because it's like 1 a.m. in Ukraine, and everybody else is sleeping because they are not as dedicated as me. I don't sleep at all, and I can talk about all kinds of shit. I hope this answer satisfies you. How can people contact you or English-speaking other wanted to do business in Ukraine after the war? Michael, I'm not a good advisor in terms of business. I'm sorry. You better contact somebody else. I will not help you. Trust me. United 24 has made games. All money goes to Ukraine. Oh, Leslie, I didn't know about it. But actually, there's so many awesome people making games, making add-ons for games, and those people support Ukraine. A lot of their profit comes directly to organizations like United 24 or different brigades. They are completely amazing and awesome. How can we clone Starsky? Well, you need some samples of my blood or other fluids. You should run for public office. No, thank you. I don't want people to hate me. Flash 73, I should be sleeping. Actually, same here. And actually, yeah, actually it's like 2 a.m., 2:17 here. Guys, I will be saying goodbye. Didn't finish my coffee. I will be saying goodbye. I hope that my presentation on corruption in Ukraine was at least a bit useful. Yeah, I think the stream is lagging a bit. Anyways, thank you so much for staying here. I think that I will have streams like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, trying to talk about like most important topics. In your opinion, in my opinion, most important topics, and make you a bit more acquainted with Ukraine, because it's a really cool place. The other day I talked to the tattoo master who gave me this awesome trident, which is basically the patch of my brigade, as well as the shark. And he said, a lot of my friends from abroad come to Ukraine and want to stay and live here, not because of like, like ideology or, I don't know, like some ideologic reasons, helping Ukrainian people or whatever, but just for the reason that Ukraine is so cool. It is really so cool here. Starting from like amazing hamburgers in McDonald's, KFC is a legit place where you can bring your family because it's clean, and they have amazing strawberry shake that tastes like sunshine. And ending with IT and all your life in a smartphone, and all the reforms that are being constantly implemented. It's a really nice place to live. So that's the thing. I want you to become a bit more acquainted with our country and with our people, because one way or another we share this beautiful piece of our earth called Europe, and we also share those beautiful ideas of freedom and democracy in our hearts. And I think that we should become more acquainted with each other. So, my dear friends, I think we can call it a night. And I will see you all later. Be safe. And as always, thank you so much for supporting my channel. Thank you so much for supporting my brigade. Thank you so much for supporting my country and my people. And thank you for staying awesome. My name is Operator Starsky. As always, be safe. Bye-bye.